Hello, I'm Eric Koski. I've invited my friends Greg Talley and Ryan Smith to join me in ingesting fun and bizarre foods. We'd like you to join us too. So come in and open up. It's Junkmouth. Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Greg.
Welcome, listeners, to the Roof Lizard Lounge, where, as you could hear from our intro, Ryan is not with us again this week. But we are in the Roof Lizard Lounge in the Dino Hotel, above the restaurant Paleo Joe's in picturesque Lakewood, Colorado. Just a short drive from the Red Rocks Amphitheater, from the Morrison Natural History Museum, and the beautiful Rocky Mountains. So are we ready to get started with our lunch swap, Greg?
Oh, it's going to be a good program. Every program without Ryan is a good program. So I have brought quite the meal today. In my platinum-plated 3-level Mumbai tiffin, I have refrained from my normal animal-murdering ways this week, and I have a magnificent vegetarian culinary array.
Wait. You didn't murder a bunch of animals?
Well, to eat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was running over baby robins for fun on my way over, but that had fallen out of the nest and were cheeping piteously for their mother. But I did not eat them after I ground them into a slurry in the hardtop. Now, moving on to the top tier of my Mumbai tiffin, I have a Texas wild rice and hop shoot seasoned with the ashes of recently burned Amazon rainforest trees and sweetened with Arizona agave. In the middle tier is an almond pilaf. You may have the initial impression that this is a rather mundane dish. However, these are made with California almonds that were produced during the recent drought. You may not be aware that each almond takes approximately 1 gallon of water to produce. Until the drought in California is over, that makes almonds a very exclusive nut. I drew this water from sharecroppers who were brought in as migrant farmers and had to go thirsty while they picked the almonds. I actually starved out their communities in a rather heartless way. Now, I have over 300 of these hate nuts in my pilaf. And that may seem wasteful to you, but I feel I'm worth it. Now,
You're disgusting, Greg.
Thank you. In my bottom tier is an extra rich cheesecake. It is made with Cacassio Bufula cheese, a cheese that is made from buffalo milk. The eggs are all quail eggs from caged quail fed a diet of endangered bird meats and baby robins. I may be eating a vegetarian meal, but that doesn't mean the birds who produce my food also need to be vegetarian. There is no transitive property. It is just protein at that point. The cake in this dish is topped with Franciscan manzanita berries. This berry is highly protected and has not been seen growing wild since 1947. But I have it growing in a secret mountaintop garden inside a greenhouse where I feed it scraps of the actual Mona Lisa that was stolen back in the 10s as mulch.
You know, Greg, I think you're using this whole vegetarian thing to be extra immoral and just totally despicable.
What? There's no meat in the dish. Therefore, it is completely 100% moral. Not eating meat equals morality. You should know this by now. And by these standards, I am the most moral person on the planet.
You absolutely disgust me, Greg. I understand what Ryan talks about. Why don't you hand me my ET lunchbox and
all right,
share mine? Okay.
What do you have?
Well,
what's your plebe food today, plebe?
Well, it looks like I have a thermos of hot water and a cup of instant ramen noodles. Looks like there's a baggie with a scoop of French vanilla General Foods International coffee mix and a backpacker's pantry cheesecake. So looks like I need to start rehydrating if I want to have lunch.
Well, that's it for your lunchbox. And
Yeah.
what did Ryan leave in the wake of his illness?
I see a grocery bag here.
And
It says, "Have a nice day." That doesn't seem very Ryan-like.
No wonder he fled.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's our lunch swap in all of its divine decadence. Eric, what is our theme of this week?
Well, Greg, we tend to eat some rather decadent, pretty junk food things. So I thought
Greasy, meaty,
absolutely
processed, delicious.
So my first thought was, hey, let's do another all meat episode. But then I thought, you know what? We actually need to be continuing to live afterwards. So I thought we should do an all veggie episode.
All veggies.
All veggies. Everything will have a vegetable in it.
No meat.
Well, no, that's why we're trying to get healthy instead of, just watching you arrange stuff your face full of bacon and beef and chicken and sugar.
Will there be frying?
Let me think. No, there's no frying.
Is it fresh?
No. This
Oh,
is all
thank
packaged
God.
stuff, so,
Thank God.
Oh
my
wanted
God,
to
you were scaring me for a minute there. You were terrifying me. The fact that it's processed is a joy. Thank you.
Yeah,
This could have been much worse.
Well, we'll see, because I've really gone for some unique vegetables this week. But before we get into those, it's time to let everyone know Junkmouth is part of the Dino Hotel Entertainment Network of America, or DINA. And we want to encourage everybody to check out our other podcasts, including our flagship program, Mystery Science Theater 3000 Revival League, where my friend Greg here next to me,
Our absent Ryan,
and the amazing Kate Page host together a show about our favorite show on TV, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
MST3K.
Yeah. And we have another show that our friends Ron McAdams and James Rowling host. Why don't you tell us about that one, Greg?
Yeah, it's 10 backwards, and it's where they are watching Star Trek The Next Generation in reverse order from the show finale to the show premiere. So everything makes even less sense, and it's their highly comedic take on all things Star Trek, but Next Generation in particular. Worth a listen.
All right. And now, looks like I got my notes a little mixed up, so I'm going to have to improv this here.
Okay, what? This is the eat part of the program, right?
Before we get to our eat program, we have to sing for our supper.
Oh my gosh, of course we do.
It advertises your hotel, Greg. How could you forget about that?
I know. Well, you've scared me with vegetables. I was expecting to rage eat and stuff my face with meat sticks, and instead you're feeding me veggies. So even processed, I'm a little scared. But anyway, we got this great Kevin Murphy of Riff Tracks and Mystery Science Theater composed theme song. So what do you say we roll the tape?
The next time you travel to Denver, make your journey into one that you'll remember. Don't just sit around and wish when you can have an expedition at the Dino Hotel. Stretch, snarl, growl.
All right, that's a great jingle, Greg. That has to make you feel a little better.
It does in limited quantities because I am somewhat shall we say, trepidatious of what you're about to do to me.
Oh, and considering I bought this stuff, I think you probably should be. But before we force ourselves to consume these things...
Can I ask just a few baseline questions? Is anything from H Mart?
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord. That's a local Asian chain of some pretty horrific processed whatever. I mean, usually he's bringing us like squid kidneys and things like that. So I am already afraid. All right, what do you got?
So, well, I'm going to have our rules, right? So the first thing is we look for things that are not widely distributed in the USA. Rule 2, we look for things that are actually unique foods rather than just a local brand of something we can buy all over. We have our Rule 3 that we fit everything to a theme this week. That's why everything we eat this week will either be or contain a vegetable. We want to get our veggies. We're going to be healthy, and our fourth and final rule is that we each get a pass card every week if there's something we absolutely don't want to try. And knowing what I'm going to attempt to feed to Greg here, I think he may be glad that he has that this week. So with that, our first product is from the First World brand, because when you buy products in a third world country, like some of the things that get sold at H Mart are often sold in, you want to promote the First World. And it is pickled water spinach.
Good Lord, let me see this. This looks like your standard pickle or relish jar, only the label is scarily faded.
Well, that's because I kind of had it sitting in ice and it got a little wet.
Okay, and it says ingredients: water spinach, water, salt, citric acid, sodium benzoate as a preservative. This is a product of Thailand. Do you know, is this spicy?
No, this should not be spicy at all.
Okay. It is from Thailand, but it is
despite
pickled.
The ingredient list, I do see, if you look carefully in there, there are what appear to be a couple peppers in there. So while it's not intended to be spicy, there's a possibility it may have a little bit of that.
I'm really enjoying how dirty the cap is on this. Like, it sat in dust. Did you check an expiration date on this before we ate it? How long has this thing been sitting at H Mart?
Pickled.
It's pickled, but that means shit, son. It doesn't have an expiration date. Yeah. It's a good luck.
It looks good. It looks like it's fresh.
Botulism is invisible. You realize that, don't you?
If it's pickled and has the lactic acid in it, botulism will not grow.
Okay.
In a lactic acid-filled liquid. So
let's
talk a little bit about what this is.
Dusty jar from Thailand of unknown age, indeterminate age. It's the best pickled product from the 1980s you could bring, you son of a gun. You're gonna make me eat this garbage.
So let's talk about what water spinach is before we eat it. It's actually a member of the morning glory family,
which is highly poisonous.
That's why I want to watch you eat a bite before I try it. But
no.
I was really hoping Ryan would show up. But now this is an item that they don't grow here in the United States, in a large part because in most parts of the United States this is classified as a noxious weed.
Oh, it gets better.
Yeah. So
we're gonna open this up and little ghosts are gonna escape from this ancient Sumerian bottle that you've brought.
But there is an exception. This is being grown commercially for the Asian American market in Massachusetts, and they can get by with growing this in colder waters because the wintertime cold will actually kill it, and it won't become a noxious weed and invade other people's crops. But if you go down to Florida, you don't want to grow this stuff because it will become everywhere and invade other people's
causation and correlation. The Asian American population in Massachusetts is rapidly and inexplicably dwindling because they're eating morning glory.
Well, it's in the family. It's not the poisonous part of it. It's used very commonly throughout Southeast Asia as a culinary item. It's in a lot of dishes. And in English, you might find this. We have water spinach is the most common name, but you may also find it known as river spinach, water morning glory, water convolvulus. I don't know how you pronounce convolvulus.
Oh, convolvulus, like Latin for convulsions.
Possibly. It also could be known as Chinese spinach, Chinese watercress, Chinese convolvulus.
Or swamp cabbage. You're selling me. You are so selling me on this morning glory convulsive swamp cabbage.
Yeah. So with that, let's open up this jar and let's try this.
All right. You know what? We're in the podcast studio.
Yeah.
It is just the two of us. I'm not sure the staff downstairs knows we are here. So I am going to invoke a temporary pass card
until you see if I survive.
If you we'll circle back around to the eat portion of this. in about 15 or 20 minutes. And if you aren't frothing at the mouth, I will try some.
Okay.
So that way we won't both die and they find our stinky hot corpses in a week or so when they start to wonder where the hell we are.
All right.
I will smell it. I will smell the...
I'm opening this jar.
Okay, is there anything black on top like mold?
No, that would make me invoke a pass card immediately myself. So.
Okay, it's got a weird little net in it.
Yeah, it's got something that's like, well...
Looks like a Spider-Man
So
net.
a lot of pickled products, if they're a traditional pickling process, you don't want them to get above the liquid level while they're processing. So I'm assuming that's what there's a little plastic net thing. I'm assuming that's just to hold the vegetables down below the surface so that they ferment properly and become pickled correctly.
I think so. I see black along the lid, so I'm a little
You're
nervous
leery?
for you. I'm a little leery.
Oh my goodness. Ugh. There, that's not easy to get out.
No. So you just pulled out the weird webbing that was used to hold down the convulsive swamp cabbage.
Yeah, it does. It definitely has that kind of like lactic acid.
Why do I
smell.
feel like this is the culinary equivalent of you jumping into a quarry of unknown depth saying, "Hold my beer"?
All right, so I'm gonna give it. I'm smelling this. It's kind of like little like pale green hollow tubes.
All right,
That are
I'm
in there.
gonna smell this.
Yeah,
this water
smell
spinach.
that. It definitely has that kind of. It's like a. Yeah, it doesn't smell real good.
You know what it smells like? It smells like toes that have been in a ski boot all day and have come back all pickled and briny. So it smells like sweaty toes.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what? There would be no shame in both of us invoking a pass card on your own product. You don't. I'm not gonna pressure you into eating this.
I am right on the edge on this one. 'Cause I'm seriously. You're making me seriously consider that.
I am genuinely concerned for you, my friend. I'm not touching this nauseating pickle toe mess of a convulsive plant until I make sure you're alive, because I may need to dial 911.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna have much. I'm gonna get the smaller of these two pieces that I.
All right. Do
pulled
you
out
have
on
a
my fork.
drink ready in case it's awful?
You know what? I do.
Okay.
In fact, inside baseball
Dear
kind of stuff.
Lord.
I have about half a can left over from our last episode of the B. Stiff and Sons root beer.
All right, the root beer will help, but I mean the whole room. The whole room is starting to.
You know what I'm going to do?
stink.
I'm going to get this bite in quick, and I'm going to
then
get that
close
lid
up the
back on.
jar, for
Yes.
God's sakes.
Exactly.
It smells like when
here
my
I go.
son takes off
It's
his
going
gym
in.
shoes.
Now! Ah!
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh.
yuck.
Oh my God.
That was bad.
Okay, now I know why it's called convulsive, because you just shuddered from head to toe.
Yeah, not.
Close it up.
I'm going
Close
to
it up.
recommend you don't eat that.
Okay, out of the greasy wrappers, 1 to 5, what do you give our water spinach / swamp cabbage?
Well, it's definitely less than 1. That was a particularly bad flavor. It had kind of that really stocky, over chlorophylled vegetable flavor, along with that acidic pickled flavor, without the typical pickle spices that really round it out and add to it. So it's kind of that
Vinegar. You were eating vinegar slop.
Vinegar and I'm trying to think of something that's like that vinegar and undercooked kale maybe, but with a smooshy texture. Had that's kind of the flavor.
Normally Ryan probably hates us a little bit when we do this stuff. He's probably laughing his head off while he edits this in post-production on this particular episode.
He deserves to.
Yeah, I'd say we've been somewhat dickish in the past. This time he can feel vindicated. So
yeah, I had that little piece. I will not have any more of this. Let me get the root beer and see if it goes away easily.
Okay, I promised I'd try it later in the podcast. So
I think that's a mistake, Greg.
Well,
okay, it washes away well. So I think it deserves more than a 0. The zeros are the things that are like a Lester and Melba that won't go away.
that
ruin
have
your entire day.
chemical aftertaste.
Right. things that it's
Napalm
not
your
just
taste buds.
Yeah, it's not just a 5 minutes of misery. It's all day misery. This gets away pretty quick. So at least so far it hasn't instantly upset my stomach or anything like that. Like a couple of the things.
Your hair fell out of your head
long before I ate this.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with half a greasy wrapper. I think it's done. I think it hasn't done such a horrible crime as to deserve 0, but I also can't really say anything good about it either. So
you know what? I'm actually pretty vindicated in being leery of the stuff you bring into this studio. And I got to say my spidey senses were tingling on this one.
Yeah.
Man, you just did a number on yourself.
Oh, it was, but it didn't last. So
well, let me ask you this about the pickled flavor. I mean, is there anything that would redeem it? I mean, could you see growing up on this and loving it, like the way some people love Marmite or Vegemite?
What I'll say, all right. So the texture wasn't a bad thing. It's a like slightly mushy, typical pickled vegetable kind of texture. I can't say anything bad there. And I could see this actually fitting in okay as an ingredient to add a little acidity into a dish, and some texture into a dish. That I could see. It definitely is absolutely awful by itself, but I could see, like I say, there wasn't anything that, puts a horrible taste in my mouth that won't go away. And I think if it wasn't quite so strong, it wouldn't be bad.
I'm trying to think of any equivalent, and the only thing I can think of is okra, from Africa. But okra pairs well with everything.
Yeah,
it's good fried in cornmeal. It's good pickled.
This might add something really nice to a really spicy curry, where a little acidity cut and some of that texture might be nice.
I don't know, man. You haven't sold me. So after basically licking out the inside of a sweaty gym shoe, why don't you accentuate the positive for us, buddy?
I think in order to do that, I need to have some of this root beer from our last show. I need to take a good swig of that. So
just to clear the palate, and I'm going to watch you closely to make sure you don't keel over on me.
Yes. All right, now it's time for Accentuate the Positive, as I've just been lifted up by a sip of great root beer. And this week, I'm going to talk about board games and the great board game revival we've seen in the last several years. And I'd like to talk a little bit about why we've seen that happen. So, and I know, Greg, I think you're kind of a board game guy. We've definitely played a few.
The effects of morning glory seeds include LSD-like experience that lasts about 6 hours. Nausea is common.
Greg, do you see the board games floating in the room right now? Let's get on subject.
No.
What?
It is definitely a toxin. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
All right.
I'm listening.
So the first thing that I think that really was kind of the first movement that started popularizing a revival in board games was when Hasbro in 1999 started promoting their family game night. And they always recommended Wednesdays for some reason. And any night, honestly, can be a good night for that. But it got families back together playing games, and it was a pretty successful campaign. They sold a lot of games. These were a lot of the classic games. And they even created a Hasbro Game Night video game that was the board games in video game form, but it still got families together to play them because it was still the same rules. Just kind of made it more accommodating to a new generation. I thought that was a great thing.
I play all kinds of Monopoly is Parker Brothers, not Hasbro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I play Monopoly. I find it interminable in board game form, but an enjoyable in electronic form.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good.
Play a couple games of Monopoly on solo, on a plane flight.
Yeah.
That's a good way to kill some
that
time.
is a good thing to do. I think board games are always more fun playing them together. And the second piece I think that really pushed the board game movement up was a game where we got to watch people do that, and that was when Geek and Sundry put out the tabletop YouTube show hosted by Will Wheaton and further promoted it by creating the International Tabletop Day. So if anybody out here doesn't know, this is a series that Will Wheaton of Star Trek fame hosts, where he brings in various geeky celebrities to play games from independent and smaller companies, board games, and they film it, they put it out, and you get a lot of very big and funny personalities when they do it. Very enjoyable to watch, and a great way if you're thinking about buying a game or interested in looking for new games. It's a great source. I've really enjoyed watching that tabletop series myself. So I don't know, have you watched any of those, Greg?
No, but everyone I know loves tabletop, so I probably I'm just behind the times.
And as many great and independent games as I know you've played, and even we've played together, I'm really surprised you've never seen any of the tabletop series by Will Wheaton. So.
Oh, I know, and I mean I've met Will Wheaton. I still haven't seen his show, so
get on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's why he wouldn't come on my show, because I hadn't seen his show.
Yeah, and
turnabout's fair play.
Hey, and this show in 2013 won the Diana Jones Award for a web series. Because of how well it blends the humor and gameplay, bringing all these classic games and RPGs to thousands of new players. And honestly, I think to me, maybe without Hasbro Game Night, he might have had a harder time getting the success with the tabletop show, but I think it made a bigger jump from this show than the Hasbro campaign did, with a much smaller budget. So I have to really give both Will Wheaton and Geek and Sundry huge credit for that show. And then something I know we both participated in at some level for games I think has really helped the board game movement is Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, crowdfunding.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this has brought down the level of entry to get into this market way, way down and made it much more achievable for brilliant people to get games out. And it really makes the games that come out fit the demand rather than just what some executive
sponsored
thinks.
Several games. How about you? I mean,
yeah, I've definitely, especially the ones from Matt Inman, the Exploding Kittens, and now coming out soon,
Friend of the Dino Hotel
versus Babies. Yes.
Yeah. Also helped one of my friends kickstart a game, and I was a marketing consultant on that, called Morbid Curiosity, a game about death, and it's fascinating to play, and it's a beautifully packaged game, and
I've never played that one. I really would like to.
Yeah, no, it's a funny game. It's good to play with funny, clever people, and played a couple of rounds of it in the past. Was a beta tester on it, and so check out Morbid Curiosity. It's a really good game.
That sounds great. And I want to add in here now our last thing that I think has really helped the board game movement. And that is Tabletop Simulator.
Oh yeah,
and similar software that's out there. But I think that's the most popular and probably the best. But yeah, you can now get online, and this is Tabletop Simulator. It just kind of simulates a virtual environment with pieces you can manipulate. And people have created a lot of both the popular and independent board games have created the pieces for it in this, so you can download and share it, and you can get online and play with people that. Especially as, you get busy an adult, you can't always get 4 or 5 people together around a physical table. Let's let you get online. You can play with people, chat with them while you're on, and just have a fun game night. And I know you and I have done that with some of our friends who aren't local.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's a great way to kill an evening just playing classic games. So,
yeah. So...
What's your favorite board game?
Play great games. My favorite board game? That's tough.
I bet you know my favorite board game.
Is it Cards Against Humanity or Machikoro?
Machikoro!
I was like, because it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah, Machikoro, baby. I love Machikoro. I can't get enough of it.
A favorite board game? I think some of that kind of depends on the form I'm playing and whether or not, I think if you count D&D, I'm going to put that up top. I really love the role-playing concept. But if you don't, some people, that's more of an open-ended, book-based. It is definitely tabletop, but not so much a board. If you don't include that, I kind of like Flux or some of the games that just break the mold of what you expect. Flux is a fun one, or I don't want to. Got to make sure I'm. I'm drawing a blank, but I'll go with we'll say Flux is the card game I really like. Forbidden Island's kind of a fun one.
I haven't played Forbidden Island.
Okay. Yeah, I played it when somebody else owned it. I only recently picked up a copy, so I can bring it over. We can play sometime.
I like that. Let's play some games. Don't tell Ryan.
You don't want to play Forbidden Island with Ryan?
No.
Is he a poor sport when he loses, or what?
He flips the table.
On Tabletop Simulator, but does he do it in real life?
He does it in real life, too.
Oh, okay.
Terrible sport,
Yeah,
that Smith.
And hopefully my there he cuts out, so I hope. All right. But Ryan's not here. We're supposed to move on to Ryan's reality check.
Well, can we? I mean, his notes are kind of sparse. Can we fill in? It says his reality check this week is people who don't pick up after their dogs.
Oh, that's awful, and it happens so much.
No, here's my bigger beef than people who don't pick up after their dogs on, say, a Colorado trail.
Yeah.
Is people who do bag it and leave it.
Oh, yeah.
It's worse because, you know what? If you take the poo and just leave it on the side of the trail, it's
You've
gross.
Added plastic.
It's gross, but it's going to decompose in time. If you wrap it in plastic, you've just screwed up the ecosystem and made a horrible mess for somebody else. I mean, some of the trails around my old house, there would be stacks and stacks of, like, people were sandbagging against a flood of wrapped dog doo that they hadn't had the common decency to carry out and throw away properly.
Well, that is just stupid. I've seen that too. I see more often just it sitting by the side of the trail, and that's bad enough. But you're right. Somebody's stupid enough to go through the trouble of bagging it and then not get it into a can. I mean, that's just pure stupidity.
You've already handled it, people. What's the gross out?
Yes, I know.
I know you've turned the bag inside out and very delicately, tried to do that, but trust me, it's on you. It's on you. Don't worsen the situation by adding plastic to. I mean, you might as well go and poop all over the trail yourself and then empty out all your plastic bags into the bushes for the amount of usefulness you've done. It's not etiquette. It's laziness.
Absolutely. Here's one that actually even bugs me, maybe even more than on the side of a trail. We have actually, here in Colorado, and I know it's happened to other places, but when we live in a place as beautiful as Colorado, it bugs me more than most, is that we've had dog parks shut down because there's been so much dog crap in the dog park that people haven't picked up that it's become unsafe for the dogs.
Wow, really?
Yes. Most of our dog parks have been good enough that hasn't happened, but we have had at least 2 different dog parks that at one point have been shut down. They've had volunteers come in that have helped get the dog poop cleaned up enough to have them reopen. But
the really sad and disturbing part is it all came from one dog.
Damn Clifford. Oh.
Yeah. Yo, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Clifford probably shuts the dog park every time.
Probably. All right. Well, do you have anything else to add about dog poop, Greg?
You just pick it up. I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather you fling the poo deep into the bushes than wrap it in a sandwich baggie and leave that for someone else to come along. I mean, it's gross. It's a drain on park resources. Everybody's got better things to be doing. Don't be a lazy piece of what you're picking up.
All right. Okay. I'm with you. Absolutely. And with that,
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, it's time to move on to our drink segment.
Whoa. H Mart?
Of course.
Vegetable.
Yeah.
H Mart and vegetable. And I've already used up my pass card. Good
go.
Lord. Oh my God. What is this? It says it's a banana drink, grass, jelly, banana flavored chin. What is this?
Chin Chin brand grass jelly drink in banana flavor. I know you like bananas, so you said that
I'm not a
favorite
minion.
fruit.
It is my favorite fruit, but grass jelly.
Yeah, it's really popular in Southeast Asia
Like
and in
lawnmower clippings.
the Pacific. It's a specific type of grass that is grown for food things. It has a lot of gelatin in it. It's used in a lot of desserts, and a lot of Thai desserts, a lot of Malaysian desserts.
And it's got a lot of French on the bottle. Is this from Vietnam or Thailand? Where is this a product of?
Oh, I remember I had looked. No, this is from Taiwan.
Taiwan, okay.
Yeah. And just because it's got grass chili in it, I got us some clear cups so we could actually get a nice visual on this drink.
Wait, you're going to pour this. Okay, it has a big margarita-style cup on the label, but the drink itself is black. It looks like chocolate pudding on their own can.
Oh, but it pours out more like a soda color.
Yeah, it looks like cola.
Kind of does.
I don't see jelly. It doesn't look like it's got bits like boba in it.
I've heard
like
that
bubble
some
tea.
of it does. Smells kind of sweet and banana-y.
It smells like Deep Woods off with banana. It smells like if you took a Laffy Taffy banana-flavored Laffy Taffy and squirted
It's banana.
DEET.
It's liquid banana taffy.
It's liquid banana taffy with a chaser of DEET.
I don't smell any DEET in there. I think you're...
Oh, my God. At least it's good and cold because I think... All right.
Are we ready?
What color is it? It is the color of
like
sewage.
It's
raw.
it's kind of a brown.
It's raw.
It's like it wants to be soda brown, but it kind of has a muddy-ishness to it.
My insides are proactively hurting. Okay.
No, I don't.
Just the banana smell, and it's not a good banana smell. It's an artificial banana smell.
It is.
And it's got brown green to it. This is like if your dog did this, you'd take him to the vet. All right.
Right.
Here we go. I'm going to take a sip first.
Yeah, that's all I'm starting with. Not awful, not good. Not very strong. I was expecting something more
I was expecting
of a punchy
I was expecting
flavor.
something to beat me over the head.
Yeah.
Based on the aromaticness of this. But I got to say, it tastes a little like black tea. I get kind of the tannic bite of a black tea in it.
Yeah, I think that's the grass is kind of kind of tea-like, kind of grassy, but a very mild grassy.
It's definitely got like, you know what? As scary and as foreign to my worldview as this is, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, not good. It's kind of so-so, I think.
I mean, okay, I'm going to be fair. It tastes like the banana is much milder than it smells. So that's
definitely that is a huge plus because it smelled like it was going to be cloying sweet banana. Nasty.
It is the perfect temperature for a soft drink, in my opinion. I could not drink this warm.
Oh, this would be disgusting warm.
But it is a chilled black tea with a hint of fruit, maybe like a tamarind, not a banana, but a tamarind fruit. But
I can definitely taste banana, but it might even be more of a plantain kind of flavor than a Cavendish.
Yeah. I see that. I can go with plantain.
That's where I'd go with it.
It's not... Okay, this is a clash of cultures.
Absolutely.
This is a little bit of lost in translation on my taste buds. And when you bring in a drink that looks like chocolate pudding in a margarita glass, and that's their selling point, you're going to scare the hell out of me.
It is a scary-looking drink.
I was predisposed, especially after that eat section monstrosity you brought in, to be really terrified. This is not half bad.
Yeah, but it's only half good too. So that's where I'm.
Yeah, but if you told me I had,
it might be. I think it's a cultural thing.
Okay,
though, where that's why we probably don't.
Let's be honest.
Particularly,
let's be honest. The packaging is what's scary.
Yes.
If you took this and put it in a clear glass, put some ice in it, and said, "Oh, I have an herbal fruit tea. Here, try some." You wouldn't think twice.
I'd think it was just okay.
You'd be like, "Oh, okay, herbal fruit tea. All right, whatever. It's something made by Twinings or Celestial Seasonings." You'd drink it and you wouldn't give it two thoughts.
I wouldn't, and I'd think it was just mediocre. And honestly, I was expecting worse, and it surprised me by being, just kind of so-so. Yeah.
It's got a floral aftertaste. Not terrible. Not terrible.
Yep.
But I definitely think if someone handed this to you and set the right tone or expectation, you'd be fine.
Yeah. The can, it looks awful. I think that you know what I think we need to do?
The hell out of me.
I think we need to get a picture of this up on the Facebook of this can and just let people take a look at this.
Yeah. Grass jelly drink. That is terrifying, you monster, you.
But I wasn't really as much of a monster as it looked at first.
Nah, it
like every monster, I had a heart inside, just like anyone else.
Well, no, I was expecting it to be like the Sarlacc, and it ended up being Grover. You know,
this drink is Grover. You're right.
This drink is Grover.
So how many wrappers does this Grover drink get from you, Greg?
All right. If I based it on the label, it would get 2.5. If I base it on a blind subjective taste test, removing cultural biases, it bumps up to a 3.5. The fact that it is actually kind of good, it bumps it up to a 4.5. The fact that it's the perfect temperature for any soda, I'm going to clock out at a 4.6, 4.7.
I think you're trying to be too nice, Greg.
No,
it's not that good.
It's not that bad. It's just It's like a flavored. It's a flavored tea, is what it tastes like.
If you discount, if you look, the can makes it look like a product that's probably a 2, but when you actually get in and look at, you pour it out, you look at it there. It does look slightly off, but it doesn't look bad. So then you're maybe at a 3. Honestly, with the taste, there is some opinion on it. I think this probably should land somewhere in the 3 to a 4 range.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go 3.5 greasy wrappers.
I'm weighting it higher because of temperature and trying to account for my own cultural biases. I do appreciate the fact that in spite of the sickly sweet smell, it is not a sweet drink at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
It's a neutral drink that is not bitter, but it has floral notes to it.
I think there's a very mild sweetness in it, but
but it's not
very
like
mild. It's not super. It's less sweet than a typical soda.
It's not good. It's not Goody Blue Pop or Americana Black Cherry or something like that. That's like a bag of sugar that sticks to your teeth. No, this is good.
All right, so we've got 4.7 from you. Was that where you landed?
4.7 greasy wrappers.
I'm going 3.5. I can't get on board with you going that high, Greg. But your opinion.
My opinion.
All right, and in that case, let's move on. And Greg, tell us your tales of the stupid.
Well, you hit me with veggies this week, so I thought I would focus on one of my favorite summer vegetables, and that is the radish. The simple radish, red radish that you buy in a bundle at the grocery store. It is one of the best dishes of summer, and I like them when they have heat and it's like a slow burn, and you wash them, you trim off the root bits, you cut off the caps, you get a big plate of salt, and you put them in that raw salt, sea salt preferably, and you eat lightly salted radishes. You don't need a salad. You can eat it as a crudité. It's not junk food. It is something that is just traditional country summer picnic food. And it is earthy. It is crunchy. It is spicy. It comes from I think it's the Brassicaceae family. I don't know how to pronounce the Latin. That's my best attempted pronunciation, but this is the same family as mustards and cabbages and other things of that variety. So it can have heat. We're not 100% sure where the first radishes came from. They've been found in India and central China and central Asia, and it was, widely cultivated throughout the ancient world. It made its way to Europe. I mean, the ancient Greeks and Romans talk about different kinds of radishes, but, this is a dish that can be everything from cultivated mild to something like a Japanese daikon where we, use the radish sprouts to add heat to sushi. Or
I really like daikon.
yeah, daikon is nice.
That's wonderful.
So, it's easy to. It likes cool weather. It's pretty fast growing. You can get 2 crops out of it a year. And I don't have any profound facts to share or interesting factoids to share other than go wash up a plate of radishes, cut off the tops. You can boil the tops and make a nice plate of greens if you want to have some greens to go with it, some bitter greens. But there is nothing better than a plate of crispy, spicy radishes in a bed of salt.
Carrots, watermelon. I actually do think some other things are better, but you know what? Radishes aren't bad. I do like.
Well,
them.
we're talking vegetables.
Carrots.
Carrots, okay.
I like a good carrot.
Yeah,
as much or even better than a probably actually better than a radish, but that's a personal taste thing. So, yeah, Greg's big on the radish, and I'll say if that's what Greg wants as his Tales of the Stupid, radishes are okay.
And I'm going to raise my jelly grass, whatever the hell this chin stuff is, in honor of the radish.
To the radish!
To the radish.
All right. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum. All right. What do we got? What do we got for Be Merry?
All right. I want to, before we go to Be Merry, Greg, I want to give you another chance. Do you want to take the pass card back out and try some of this delicious pickled water spinach?
It's been 20 minutes.
And I'm fine.
And you're only your normal Uncle Fester Paler.
Yeah.
So, all right. Go ahead. Hook me up. Put some in the bowl there. There's the foot smell again. Oh, God in heaven. God in heaven. All right. How many of these little tubers do I have to eat? Just one?
One, and you can get the smallest one. You could bite off half of it if you want.
All right. Let me.
I mean, trust me, it doesn't take much. And I'm putting the lid back on.
Flaccid and spongy.
That's a good description.
Flaccid, spongy, and vinegary.
Doesn't that make you hungry?
Yes, it does, and it's the color of a tapeworm.
Oh, your reaction just isn't as bad as mine was.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Tiny tang. No heat.
No, none at all. You took a second bite! Wow.
It's pickled okra. I even get a tiny bit of heat on the back of the throat.
I picked up none, but I'm not sensitive on heat.
Not much. I mean, barely any.
Yeah.
Well, that was something.
That it was.
It smells much worse than it actually tastes. God.
I'm glad I only spent $2 on that.
I feel so sad. Thank God for the root beer. I'm going back for the root beer. Oh my God.
And in case any of our listeners didn't catch our last episode, that's some of the B. Stiff & Sons root beer that we have left over, recording 2 episodes back to back. And honestly, if there's anything that makes you sad, that will wash it away. Stuff.
I don't know. That was pretty awful.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to one of those like Mexican restaurants and they have like the giant jar of decorative carrots and arranged in a pattern inside the jar, and it's like
carrots. Usually it's peppers.
It's peppers and carrots and onions.
I've seen onions. I don't think I've.
I sort of feel like
carrots.
and I'm pretty sure they put formaldehyde in those bottles. I feel like I just cracked into one of those bottles and ate whatever was in the bottom.
I think that's about the right description of eating that stuff.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
And how many greasy wrappers?
Half.
We're in agreement. Half a greasy wrapper.
Half a greasy wrapper, and if you had a greasy wrapper to lick after eating one,
you'd want to.
You'd want to. just to get the flavor out of your mouth.
Well, with that, I think we should move on to the Be Merry, where I think we have something that should help really clear you up.
Get the taste of brine and bile out of my mouth, please.
Okay.
Is this from
nice
H
bag
Mart?
of stuff.
Is this from H Mart?
I did happen to buy these at H Mart, but I've seen them other places.
What are they?
So we have got, these are called the Original Chimes Ginger Chews.
Well, that doesn't sound terrible.
No. And because we're Junkmouth, I couldn't just go with like an original flavor. We have peanut butter ginger chews.
Peanut butter ginger chews.
Yeah. Yes.
Good Lord, look at the package. It's got an Aztec sun with the most evil, grinning face on it I have ever seen. This is a satanic sun that wants to hurt you.
Yes.
And it says the original, and the sun has like triple chins and laugh lines, and it's got like a Joker mouth and a unibrow, and it is leering at us to eat this horrific food.
Not horrific.
Well, we don't know, but I'm assuming horrific because that sun wants to hurt me.
Now, I'll say, I went onto Amazon on these. These are actually rated quite well.
Okay.
Like over 4.5 stars.
The peanut butter or just the ginger?
Even the peanut butter flavor or the multi-pack or most of the other flavors are all rated quite well. So I'm actually expecting this to be pretty good.
All right. I have my doubts because their packaging, well, is clearly wanting to rip out my heart.
Yep. And so we had a big bag, and what you can hear us doing now are opening their individual bites are packaged in other little foil wrappers.
It says lift flap to open. You know, anything on a package that sounds vaguely surgical, you know.
Yeah, that doesn't sound...
Lift flap to open.
Oh, but it's a nice little...
Suck on stent.
A nice little piece. When you get it out, you can feel it's kind of a soft, gingery chew.
All right, I'm about... you're ahead of me.
I'm ahead of you. I am
struggling with this wrapper.
I can really smell ginger and peanuts. It smells like, something that they'd use in a Thai restaurant.
Yeah, that smells like
it smells
a peanut.
Beautiful.
It smells like a peanut patty.
Yeah, It
smells like a peanut patty,
delicious.
but
I think even the peanut butter's a little stronger than the ginger for me.
Yeah, and it looks like it's dusted in a little bit of
cornstarch. Or
cornstarch.
sugar
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Chewy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's definitely the best thing we've had on this show.
No, but that's not saying
this
much.
episode. Yeah. No, but that's really good.
I find the texture actually to be slightly off-putting. All joking aside, it's a strange chewiness.
Huh?
The heat is good from the
I like the chewiness.
from the ginger,
I like it.
but it's got like a gummy bear consistency. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, it's got, to me, it's like a piece of bubble gum, but no stickiness. That's what I really like.
It's
A lot of chews like really stick to your teeth and stuff, and this doesn't.
I don't get a strong peanut butter flavor. It smells strong like peanut butter.
I do get some peanut butter flavor, but it's not super strong. It balances nicely with the ginger. Mm-hmm. The flavor is wonderful.
I'm on the fence about this.
The texture's kind of so-so. It's not bad.
You see, when I get a ginger chew, I want it to be like a caramel. And this was more like a gummy bear.
Yeah.
And sort of that gelatin springiness to me was cognitive dissonance and a little off-putting. But nonetheless...
It's unusual, so I can see that.
It's unusual, but I could see like powering down a bunch of these because of the ginger heat. Mm-hmm.
Which isn't overpowering. It's kind of it's a lighter, but definitely there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not terrible.
No. I'm going to come out. I think this is a 4.5 star or 4.5 greasy wrapper. I'm sorry. Product because I think flavor wise, I think it's a 5. But I just have to knock it a little on this texture because it's not the traditional and fitting texture for a ginger chew.
I'm going to give it a 5 for evil packaging. But for flavor and texture, I got to give it like a 3.7, 3.8, something like that. It is not what I wanted in a ginger chew.
No. Well, okay. I thought it was wonderful. But you know what? You liked the drink better than I did. So.
I mean, I almost wonder, is it stale? What's the Is there an expiration date on this?
Should be.
It says best sold by 6/10 of 2017.
Today.
Today.
It's good. It's best by today.
It is so it is best eaten. Tomorrow it's stale. But
Today it's okay.
Today it's okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. Huh. That's all I can say about this food. Huh.
And 3.7. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has an evil sun or moon. I don't know what it is. They have
It's
more.
a big round crazy face.
It's making more faces on the back.
It is.
And it's not an improvement.
Yeah, the packaging leaves something to be desired. It's actually quite fancy and ornate, but creepy.
If you've ever seen that old silent movie where they shoot the rocket into the face of the moon, Voyage to the Moon, it looks kind of like that moon, or the Honeymooners moon, but more disturbing and with a hint of sadism.
Only a hint. I think it's a little more than a hint.
Yeah. This
It's a significant dose.
But you gotta love someone who chooses a mascot that wants to do bodily harm to you. I gotta say, packaging-wise, you've knocked it out of the park between the Chin Chin black pudding margarita glass, the evil sun, and the flaccid swamp cabbage packaging. Yeah, good job. You walked around the store and said, how can I fuck Greg and Ryan up? How can I really just, make sure that it is as nauseating and disturbing as possible? You walked around H Mart giggling like a little schoolgirl. I can hear you. And just reached for whatever you thought was going to be truly awful.
I will say I did not think the ginger chews would be truly awful. And after I found the first two things, I felt like I needed to give you something that was going to not be as bad as the first two.
Well,
and I think I managed that.
Yeah.
So I will summarize. So we just ate some truly horrendous water spinach / swamp cabbage. Drank a mediocre grass jelly drink that really scares you, makes you think it's going to be awful, and then
just like a flavored tea.
It makes you feel like it's good by comparison to what you thought you were going to get, so that it's a pleasant surprise. I think they set expectations low so that they could surprise you and make you think it's better. And then ended with some ginger chews that texture-wise are going to have some kind of hits and misses based on your personal feelings, but I think tasted wonderful. So
yeah, and they're not awful. It's just not my thing, and their packaging scares me.
Yeah. So any final thoughts, Greg?
Yeah, with the ginger chews, I would put the sun face down or the moon face down, except there's even creepier faces on the back of the packaging. I would, if it was late at night and I were alone, I would have to lock this package in a cupboard. Well, out of just sheer superstition.
I'm going to go with my final thought being it's super hot summer day for Colorado right now. And that creepy sun, I think, is not just here in the studio, but waiting for us as we head outside and through our day. So I won't sleep well tonight. And with that, I will say, remember, eat, drink, and be merry.
Peace out.